Hello, my name is Adrian Spotted Bird. I am in the teaching program here at the Montana State University Northern. Got into the program here a semester ago. I'm what you call a non-traditional student. Years back, I did attain my two-year teaching certificate. Um, so now I'm jumping back in, hoping to, I will attain my four-year teaching certificate. What I plan to do thereafter is teach here on a reservation, give back to my reservation, give back to my peoples. Um, in the meanwhile, I've been working for my tribe off and on. For the most part, I've been involved with the judicial portion of it. I've been a juvenile officer and a adult probation officer. In that time, I also left my comfort zone, which I call a reservation, and ventured down to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where I became a state probation officer for the adults. With that, I learned a lot from the people that I monitored. I learned a lot from the people I worked for. A lot of the thing that I guess I took from that job was the behavior management. It all came down to behavior. In the past, like I mentioned, I've done other jobs for the tribe. My biggest, I guess, a job that I liked the most working for the tribe was called an injury prevention coordinator, which was primarily working with my tribe, taking numbers for things that were indirectly affecting Native Americans here on this reservation, which were on this reservation. My reservation are the Assiniboine people and the Sioux people. Geographically, we're located approximately 50 miles from the Canadian border and 60 miles from the North Dakota border. We're right on Highway 2 up here on Highline. So, for those who don't know where that's at, that's pretty northeastern Montana, I guess, if you will. So, with injury prevention, some of the biggest things that I'm most proud of that we were able to do, I say we because it took a coalition of people to implement some laws here on our reservation. And why we implemented these laws is because these were the things that were affecting Native Americans the most here on our reservation. That's why we were doing them. And I guess my first and foremost was to implement a primary seatbelt law. I don't know, a lot of you know what a primary seatbelt law here is in Montana. We don't have one, but we do have one here on the Fort Peck Indian Reservation. We do have a child restraint law, which is the same sense as a seatbelt law, but for kids. We have a social hosting law, which makes people responsible for people having what you call house parties. So they're responsible for those who might get into an accident or something might happen to them in between their home and where they had the party at. So those are the things to make them responsible. I guess my biggest thing too that I'm most proud of is our cross deputization, which allowed non-tribal officers to help with curbing the crime here on a reservation, which would be the Montana Highway Patrol, the county officers, and our city officers. Those would assist our tribal officers in arresting tribal members due to the fact that we did not have enough tribal officers to cover the whole state, our whole reservation of Fort Peck. So with that, those are some of the biggest things that I'm most proud of that I've done. Now, coming back into the realm of education, I guess my calling was the fact that this injury prevention, I did a lot of public speaking. I did a lot of demonstrations on bike safety, car safety, seatbelt usage, a lot of those things, and there was a lot of instruction in front of people. So I was very proud of the fact that I was able to do stuff like this, and I even did a lot of public speaking, Montana highway safety. I also was nominated to be a speaker for the National Lifesavers Conference out in Denver, Colorado at one point. Different things that I was related to my job for injury prevention. So currently, I'm a full-time employee of the Fort Peck Tribes as a tribal employment rights officer, field officer, if you will. I do that from 8 to 4:30. Then after that, well, I hit the books and start reading or writing papers. So it's all about time management, and it's a hard thing to do, but it can be done. My biggest, I guess, my biggest barrier is the taking primarily a lot of this stuff online is again navigating and finding things online and being out of the loop using the computer for that matter. Some of these younger students are able to just zip right through it, and I kind of struggle at times. So, but I feel that's my biggest barrier, not knowing enough of the computer and how to navigate. But I'll manage. I know that. But with that, education I feel is the biggest thing that we need to concentrate on with our youth, because without educating our youth and like weeds, we help them grow to be leaders. We want them to be leaders as doctors, lawyers, dentists. They can be that. It's just a matter of setting them on that goal or that pathway, getting them interested. A lot of um, confidence that we must instill in our kids here on the reservation, not just my reservation, but other reservations across Montana, and even in Indian country. We need to instill that goal minded for our youth, because the millennials, they talk about all these different millennials, the baby boomers, so forth and so on. I think that we need to invest in our youth, because again, those are going to be our leaders of tomorrow. So we need to concentrate on education. So I believe by attaining my certificate for education, I feel I can be a big attribute to our youth, our kids, and I'm looking forward to it. So with that, I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of you people on the other side of the screen. Again, Mrs. File Steel, you as well. So if you have any questions or comments, please either email me, or you can even text me for that matter. I'm always open-minded. So again, I'm looking forward to you. So with that, great to meet you all, and have a great evening. Bye-bye.